Every day, millions of people wake up believing life is fixed, like they're locked into a script written long before they arrived. They think their circumstances are permanent, their choices limited, and their growth capped. But here's the hidden truth. Transformation does not erupt from monumental breakthroughs. It comes from deliberate daily disciplines that reshape how you think, act, and respond to the world. This is the wisdom the Stoics carried across centuries. They didn't believe power came from wealth, status, or authority. They believed true mastery begins inside through the cultivation of virtues and habits that compound silently day by day. And here lies the challenge for you and me. Can we embrace 8 core practices, not occasionally, not when convenient, but every single day, in ways that slowly but irreversibly elevate us from ordinary living into extraordinary purpose? That's what we'll explore. 1. The Stoic Blueprint. 8 areas that shape a life. The ancient Stoics, from Marcus Aurelius to Seneca, mapped a pattern. Success and tranquility flow not from scattered effort, but from attention to 8 recurring domains of life. Mindset, the lens shaping your perceptions and reactions. Health, integrated care for body, mind, and emotions. Learning, lifelong pursuit of wisdom and depth. Relationships, cultivating meaningful, virtuous connections. Productivity, doing what truly matters, not just staying busy. Finances, managing resources with prudence and self-control. Creativity, curiosity-driven innovation with purpose. Purpose, the compass that guides all choices. In this first part, we'll dive into the first 4, each not as theory, but as practical, modern disciplines that can reframe your daily experience. Number 2, mindset, the fortress within. Why mindset matters in Stoicism. For the Stoics, mindset was not positive thinking or surface optimism. It was the disciplined act of seeing clearly, perceiving reality without distortion, and responding from reason rather than impulse. As Epictetus put it, it's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters. Your mindset is the filter through which every event passes. If clouded by anger, fear, or entitlement, the same event appears unbearable. If shaped by discipline, reason, and humility, the same event becomes a training ground for growth. Modern application. Imagine sitting in traffic. Most people react with frustration, as if honking could alter physics. But the Stoic asks, can I control this traffic? If not, anger wastes energy. The controllable part is your response, using the time to reflect, breathe, or listen to something nourishing. Daily practice. Pause before reacting. Count to 3. Ask, is my typical reaction beneficial, or is there a wiser way to meet this? Personal insight. I see mindset as a daily gym for the soul. Just as muscle grows from resistance, mental resilience grows by confronting frustration, discomfort, and setbacks, not with avoidance, but with awareness. Journaling, meditation, and the view from above exercise, imagining yourself from a cosmic vantage point, are mental weightlifting routines. When consistently practiced, you build an inner fortress, not of cold detachment, but of calm strength. But 3. Health. Discipline as well-being. Stoic understanding of health. The Stoics saw health as holistic, body, mind, and spirit intertwined. To neglect one is to weaken all. Seneca wrote extensively about moderation, not indulgence, and Marcus Aurelius exercised both body and mind daily, even under imperial burdens. Physical health as virtue. Exercise is more than aesthetics, it's a test of perseverance. To commit to regular movement is to practice self-discipline. When your body resists, you build character by persisting. Modern reflection, whether it's running, lifting, yoga, or even walking, physical activity transforms into a stoic act when viewed as training the will, not just the muscles. Nutrition and moderation. The Stoic principle of temperance applies to food. Excess dulls clarity, moderation sharpens it. Today's consumer culture sells indulgence, yet true freedom lies in choosing nourishment over craving. Practical step, eat with intention. Ask, is this fuel or a fleeting distraction? Mental and emotional health meditation, stillness, and reflection, practices deeply aligned with Stoicism, train the mind to detach from impulsive waves of emotion. Emotional regulation isn't suppression, it's understanding anger, fear, or sadness, then responding wisely. Personal addition. In my own life, 5 minutes of nightly breathing practice is transformative. It acts as a reset button, clarifying thought and softening reaction. 4. Learning. A life of continuous depth, Stoic approach to learning. Marcus Aurelius journaled daily not to publish, but to learn. For the Stoics, Learning was less about accumulation of facts and more about integration into life. Seneca wrote, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you." Learning was about sharpening the mind and aligning life with virtue. Learning in the modern world. We live in an information flood, yet wisdom is scarce. The Stoic method of learning invites us to step back, think critically, and integrate. Instead of endlessly consuming, ask, how does this apply to my life? What principle lies beneath? Example, reading about psychology isn't just academic, it helps us understand impulses and regulate behavior. Reading history isn't just knowledge, it's pattern recognition. Daily practice is journaling, reflect on experiences, extract lessons. Cross-disciplinary curiosity, explore arts, science, philosophy to expand perspective. Conversations, engage with people who challenge assumptions. Personal reflection. For me, learning is less about mastery of subjects than about humility, realizing how much remains unknown. Curiosity becomes a virtue when channeled toward wisdom, not trivia. Even 15 minutes of intentional reading daily can shift one's perspective from shallow distraction to deep engagement with life. 5. Relationships. Stoic virtue in action. Stoic view of relationships. Stoicism is sometimes mischaracterized as cold detachment. In reality, Stoics valued relationships as a core part of ethical life. Epictetus reminded us we are not isolated beings but parts of a greater whole. True friendship, Seneca argued, is grounded in mutual virtue and growth, not convenience or flattery. Relationships today. In a hyper-connected digital world, relationships often become shallow or transactional. The Stoic challenge is to approach them with intention, empathy, patience, honesty, gratitude. Practical application. With family, show presence, not just proximity. With friends, offer support without judgment. With colleagues, treat all with integrity, regardless of gain. With strangers, engage disagreements calmly, seeking understanding before dominance. Personal insight. I find the hardest but most rewarding relationship is the one with oneself. Accepting weaknesses, striving to improve without self-hatred, that's Stoic harmony. Every small gesture of kindness to self or others ripples far beyond its moment. Stoicism reminds us that cultivating character means treating others as integral to our shared human fabric. 6. Productivity. Beyond busyness. Stoic view on productivity. Marcus Aurelius rose before dawn to write, reflect, and act, not because he had extra time, but because he understood that life is fleeting. For the Stoics, productivity was never about frantic activity. It was about aligning effort with purpose. Seneca warned, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." The modern trap. Today, productivity often means juggling tasks, chasing deadlines, and feeling perpetually behind. But this is an illusion of progress. Real productivity asks, is this the essential work? Does it matter? Practical application, prioritization. Use the Stoic principle of essentials only. Each morning ask, what is the single most important act today that aligns with my purpose? Time blocking. Protect space for deep work, reflection, and recovery. Digital restraint. Limit distractions. Not every notification deserves your attention. Personal reflection. In my own work, I've learned that relentless busyness erodes clarity. When I pause, step back, and ask, what matters in the long run, I work less but achieve more. Productivity becomes a spiritual act, not proving worth to others, but honoring time itself. 7. Finances. Mastery over desire. Stoic perspective on wealth. The Stoics did not condemn wealth itself, they warned against dependence on wealth. Epictetus taught that riches neither guarantee freedom nor corruption. It's the attachment to them that enslaves us. Marcus Aurelius noted, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Modern context. Consumer culture equates identity with possessions. Many people work endlessly for luxuries that enslave them financially and psychologically. Stoicism challenges this. Live within means, seek sufficiency, and detach from greed. Practical application budget as discipline. Track spending not out of fear, but as practice in self-control. Differentiate needs from wants. Ask before purchasing. Does this serve me, or do I serve it? Generosity. True wealth flows when resources uplift others. Personal reflection. I've realized that financial peace comes less from income and more from restraint. Every unnecessary purchase avoided strengthens willpower. True prosperity is not measured by what sits in a bank account, but by the freedom to live without fear of scarcity. 8. Creativity, the Stoic flame of expression. Stoic roots of creativity. At first glance, Stoicism and creativity seem distant, one rigid, the other free. Yet, the Stoics practiced creativity daily. Marcus Aurelius with his writings, Seneca with plays, Epictetus with teachings. Creativity was their way of shaping inner truths into external forms. Creativity as service. Creativity is not just art, it's problem solving, innovation, and storytelling. For Stoics, its highest purpose is to benefit others, not just to glorify the self. Modern application. Daily creative act. Write, sketch, brainstorm, or design, even if imperfect. Detach from outcome. Focus on process, not applause. Cross-pollination. Draw insights from unrelated fields. Philosophy from nature, strategy from art, empathy from literature. Personal reflection. For me, creativity is the act of ordering chaos. Thoughts swirl endlessly until expressed, on paper, in conversation, in design. Each act of creation is a step toward clarity. The Stoic in me reminds, it's not about perfection, it's about courage to bring forth what lies within. Purpose, the compass of life. The Stoic foundation of all disciplines, purpose is the anchor. Without it, productivity is scattered, wealth meaningless, creativity hollow. The Stoics asked relentlessly, what is my role? What is nature asking of me? Marcus Aurelius saw himself as a servant of the greater whole, emperor, yes, but above all a human aligned with reason and virtue. Modern crisis of purpose. Many drift in careers, relationships, and routines, feeling vaguely dissatisfied. Purpose cannot be outsourced. It emerges from reflection and choice. Practical application. Journaling on roll. Ask, what can I uniquely contribute to the world today? Service as compass. Align actions with benefit to others. Long view. Think decades, not days. What legacy will remain when you're gone? Personal reflection. For me, purpose isn't grandiose. It's not about saving the world single-handedly. It's about living each day aligned with values so that even small actions echo integrity. Purpose doesn't arrive as revelation, it emerges slowly through consistent choices that shape identity. 10. The integrated Stoic life. How the 8 practices interconnect mindset is the foundation, clarity and perception. Health sustains the vessel. Learning feeds wisdom. Relationships embody virtue. Productivity directs energy wisely. Finances free us from bondage. Creativity expresses inner truth. Purpose aligns everything toward meaning. The compound effect. One day of practice feels minor. A week feels small, but a decade, transformation becomes undeniable. The Stoic knew greatness is not sudden, but the result of countless ordinary days lived intentionally. The world obsesses over instant success, quick hacks, and overnight breakthroughs. Stoicism whispers a quieter, steadier truth. The extraordinary life is built on ordinary improvements practiced daily. When you discipline your mindset, you gain freedom. When you strengthen health, you gain resilience. When you commit to learning, you gain wisdom. When you nurture relationships, you gain depth. When you focus productivity, you gain impact. When you master finances, you gain independence. When you embrace creativity, you gain expression. When you anchor in purpose, you gain direction. 8 things. Practice daily, not glamorous, but transformative. The Stoics left us more than philosophy. They left us a blueprint for living well. The only question is, will you practice these 8 disciplines today?